We are out through the wall. Go ahead and pull it on in. That's good. Keep it tight. Cut this out. What's with the smoke? We're gonna put a new blade on here. Let's see if this one does any better. That one was for nail embedded wood. This is just clean wood. We'll see what happens. Just using my screw, the pointed part of the screw here. Okay, it's the moment of truth. We're about to go through the wall. I'm gonna cut a big hole. There's no going back now. Let's keep going. All right. Might help if I drilled a pilot hole. Let's do that first. Looks like somebody had a little buckshot in the shotgun. Anybody home? What a gorgeous view we have. How about we just put a window there instead? What do you think, Mrs. Lovely?
A porthole.
A porthole. Okay, Mrs. Lovely, if you don't mind, will you wiggle your toes for me? Let's line this up. Still good. Okay. Okay, 14.5 by 14.5. Okay, I ran into a little obstacle. Had to go do a materials purchase, and check it out down here. We have some galvanized metal. It's a little thinner than what I needed. It's supposed to be 0.018 in thickness, and that's to match this. What the deal is, and something that you need to look out for, is this has to come through the wall far enough so that when you put that black piece on it right here, that there is enough of the black piece has to stick out 2 inches from the wall and out past the wall, that is, and still connect to this. Well, when I do that, because of the thickness of my wall, I am a couple of inches apart here, or some measurement. So I'm going to cut a 3.5 inch piece of that metal, bend it around there, rivet it to this, and I'm gonna have to cut it in 2 sections because it's not long enough, and make this work. So it slowed us down. I gotta get this hole filled before we lose daylight. I think I'll do it 3 1/4 inches over. That should give me enough. Let's get us a line here. So this is not long enough. This is only, I think, 36 inches. I need 46 or so. So I'm gonna have to do it again, rivet it to it to make it fit. All right, so I cut this at about 3 inches, which I should have cut it further because I didn't take into consideration the overlap where the rivets are going to have to go. But I've got it up 2 1/4 inches extension from where it was. I put it up in the wall. It seems to be able to work fine. So I've thrown one rivet in. I measured all around, brought it all up 2 1/4 pretty evenly. Now it's time to rivet all the way around this puppy. So let's find a spot where I can get both of these at one time. So we're going to drill us a pilot hole first. All right. Also, if you do this and you're extending yours with rivets, I would buy the steel rivets instead of the aluminum ones because, as you know, aluminum has a lower melting point. And I'm putting this on the inside of the thimble, and that way it won't get in the way of the sliding over of the deal. So this is sticking out this way, but that's not going to be in the way of anything. The internal piece is no bigger than this diameter back here, so there's a lot of spare room in there. So yeah, now we've got that there. Let's do it all the way around. There we go. All right. Okay, you get the picture. We're gonna get this done. So there's a little bit of play all around this. So I'm going to try to find the center of this and get some tape on it. That seems to be about right. So let's get this on here for the moment. And then I'm going to tell you what we're doing here. Since we have a metal building pole barn, I'm going to put a J channel on this to hopefully prevent any moisture from getting in there. So I'm going to take this Sharpie, it's a white paint basically, and I'm going to draw a line across here because that's where I'm going to want to cut this metal. Now I'm going to come out beyond this, I don't know, about an inch, maybe a little less. And that way the J channel can come out past this, and when the water runs out of it, it's running away from here. I hope I'm doing it right. I've never done this before. Never messed with metal J channel or anything like that. I hired somebody to put this building up for me. But I think that'll do it. Now I'm going to check this level one more time. There's the bubble. So when I'll bring it up just a little bit like that. But we still got a good painted line up there. These screws I put in too low, so I gotta back them out. Okay, it's sturdy now. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make a spot where I can put some J channel, and this is gonna be interesting. So let's see what we accomplish here. I'm not gonna cut all the way through this, or I could have just cut a square. I want to leave as much of that as I can. Before I go any further, I'm going to put a piece of J channel in there and see what we've got, see what she looks like. 18 1/4 inches. 16. We'll go 15 and 7/8, 15, 7/8. All right, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but when I put some touch-up paint on here and some caulking, it's a whole lot better than not having any J-channel at all. So we'll see if we can meet this up with caulk. And the good news is when the water runs out, it's going to go down here and it's going to go right to the ground. It's not going to go inside. After I caulk it, it's going to be perfectly sealed. So that's awesome. So I'm doing things a little different. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this frame entirely. I left a little bit here. I was just wanting to keep this metal here. I don't know why. I was just wanting to. I'm going to, of course, I took out the J-channel. So I'm going to cut this out, this extra stuff here, get rid of it. That way I can get J-channel around it properly and get the right sizing. But here's the problem. When I cut this, it pushes this in. I could build up behind it, but I ruined this one down here. And instead of cutting a new piece and trying to fit it in here, I'm going to build out with a piece of 1 by, I guess it's a, I'll show you in a minute. I want to build out with that right here. But problem is, let me show you this. This right here, this piece, it has to mount against the wall, because we're actually doing this the way it was designed. We're doing it flush with the wall. We're coming out the proper distance, or we still are. But if you notice this rib right here, this support part of the bracket, to have this centered, actually lands on it where this one lands inside. Now I could build this one out, but in order to build out, I've got to come out from the wall more, because again, I don't have this rib up here to hold everything out. So I'm going to put a nice solid flat piece of steel in all the way around here, and that way I will also build out here 1 inch on this side, using this as the 1 inch on this side, maybe with a little bit more of a support. Obviously I got it upside down, so it's like this actually. So this is going to be up above it, mounted into the bracket itself. Very confusing, I know. I'm not making any sense, but I'm pretty sure that what I'm planning to do is going to work. So we're going to do that really fast. That's easier than grinding.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Let's just clean this up, get rid of this, so we can see what we're attaching to. So again, had I known I was going to do this, I would have never had to take the time to draw that perfect 14¼ inch circle and come through here. But we're okay, we're in good shape. This may or may not be the smartest way to go with a pole barn. You obviously would, this is all going to be determined based on the surface that you're mounting it to. So here's one of my 2x6s that goes across a strap or whatever. This is my inner 14.5 by 14.5 block. So this comes out 1 inch. This, if I put something like this out here, it's going to be just barely out past that. It's not going to be exact, but it's close. But let's go ahead and grab the piece of the thimble that inserts in here. Hold these out for the time being. I just want to show you how this fits in here. Now, of course, we have no wood support up here, so I'm going to build the frame up underneath between this, the frame I already built. I'm going to bring it back another 1.5 inches. So I'll put some 2x4 around this whole perimeter here. That way I've got a good boxed frame on the inside of this that I can screw this to. And when I screw it to it, it's going to come out where there's only about 1/4 inch, I think, of lip here. We're just gonna have to see how this comes together one step at a time. Okay, we have once again got a J channel, and it's gonna work right. It's gonna drip down that way, go out this, and run down here. We've got one across the bottom that will put some nice caulking in. Somebody's doing some shooting at the neighbors. Sounds like a muzzle loader to me. And yeah, now it's time to stick this in. Let's take a look and see what happens. It's a matter of getting this all pushed in and pulled down, and what a perfect fit. Yeah, that J channel now is going to fit right here. It's going to run right down. I'll put a couple of washers down here to build that out just a little to get it level. But this is now pretty much flush with the J channel. We will get it screwed in and it will be good, I think. What do you think, Mrs. Lovin?
I think it'll work.
I think it's gonna have to work. So the way this fits into the wall and all together is there is this lip right here on this triangular support piece that the T mounts onto, okay? And so this lip is actually supposed to go behind this through the wall thimble galvanized piece. This is a 1/2 inch lip right here. Okay, and so it's coming in toward the barn, and this is like open space here. This support needs to go on the wall first, and this thimble needs to set down on it. After you put these bolts through, coming in toward the wall, you'll never have access or see those bolts again, because from this side, this is going to lay down. I've got that tape there holding it up. This is going to lay down on this support and actually support this. And previously I was thinking it went on the back side, but after a phone call to tech support over at DuraVent, they straightened me out, and now we've got a good game plan. And if you look at this, if you count that 1/4 or that 1/2 inch and you come back and pull it about level here, that's your 2 inch distance from the actual combustible wall to the pipe that's going up vertically. So in order to make this happen, we have to do a little bit of fabrication outside to get all the distances exact on the exterior of the pole barn. nothing's ever as simple as you would like it to be. But we got these fitting in here nicely now. This is just galvanized channel here. And notice, remember, I had to cut that half little circle here, this portion, this curved area on the 2x6. I'm gonna have to do the same thing all the way around this galvanized material. So we're gonna get that done. Then that thimble will fit right in there, and everything's going to be flush out to here, so I can then mount my bracket all the way through and have a really good secure area to put that. I'm probably going to put a block of wood here and here, perhaps also, just to continue my bolt, my long bolt on through there, so that I'll have a lot of support there. Oh, wait a minute. Let's fix this something. There, that's better. Let's lift this thing up. Okay, we got all of those cut. Here's what it looks like. I've put them inside of this lip right here, all the way around. Obviously, we have a gap between this. It wasn't important that I get right up against it. I'll be putting bolts through the sides on the bottom of it that will actually be in line with those two bolt holes right there. So we're getting there. It's coming together. That's going to be some really good support. Okay, let's push this in there and see how it fits. We're just dry fitting it right now. All right, now look at this. This is perfectly flush with the J channel, which is what we needed for this to work. Okay, so this piece right here, this lip, can go where it's supposed to go. So what I mean, not where it's supposed to go, where we're going to put it. Like I told you earlier, this lip on this support bracket is actually supposed to go up and behind this galvanized square. That just provides support to this square. I'm not really worried about support to this as much as I am worried about support to this, because this is actually going to be holding the whole weight of the chimney structure. So I'm not doing this exactly the correct way, but I'm doing it the way that fits our pole barn here. So this is flush. We're going to end up mounting this right here right over the top of this. I'll put some huge nice lag bolts through there and grab hold so that this is going to be supported. And down here I'll put a 1-inch bracket, piece of metal, probably from here to up here, and get this nice and tight as well. It'll support it from leaning downward. So I believe when it's all said and done, this will be good. I'm going to do a dry fit first. Just screw this in, put this in place, and make sure that the pipes come through and they meet the double wall DVL chimney pipes coming in before we put the sealant in here and get everything nice and tight. So you can see I have put some screws in all 4 corners of the thimble here, and I have mounted this on for now. And when we're left to right here, let's see, oh, it's just this, we're on it. As soon as I put a support down here, I've got my fingers here now, but I've got to support that. As far as this direction, I've stuck a 1-inch piece of square steel tube here. I'm going to cut probably a small section about that tall. I'm going to place it down here, drill through it, and put it in there. But when I pull down on this and I let it press against the wall, we are right on level here as well. So now I'm going to stick my piping in, my T, and see if we can get that through there. I may have to back these screws out in order to get that T through the hole. Okay, we have what I would call a dry fit. I pulled that 1-inch out of here because that was a little bit too much, because this needed to remain level. And so popping a level on here, if I just kind of scoot this down just a little bit, we're real good, real good. And you can see that we've got our 2-inch clearance right there. And on the inside, let me show you what it looks like. We actually put the chimney pipe on the DVL, and look at this, looking nice. We have 3 inches at the moment of clearance here, so that will give us up to 1 inch of wall that we can put out in this area. And we have the correct rise here, and we're level there and on the opposite side. And so now it's just a matter of me getting everything back apart and then putting all my sealant in there. I also purchased some high temperature sealant that's going to go around the actual pipe itself where it connects inside. I'll show you that soon as well. But we're definitely well on our way. It's looking good. So right now, this wall has no studs in it for any support for drywall or anything else, and for interior walls. But I need to go ahead and frame this out so that I can screw in from that angle support on the outside into a stud on both sides. So I'm going to get to work on that, and we'll come back as soon as that's accomplished.